Welcome back. Leap Enforcer podcast. My name is Chris Salter. I am the host. Uh, Divisional playoffs are here. We are here. We got some good games coming up this weekend. My boys lost. I did leave a video last week, over the weekend, and kind of reviewing the Eagles-Packers game. So if you did happen to see it, awesome. For anybody that's followed me on YouTube, I appreciate it. I've got a few followers on there now. This is my third video, like I said. Just trying to see what I can do with this, and just kind of, I like to talk about pro football. I like to talk about Packer football, and give me a follow. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Spotify. So check me out if you can. If you haven't seen the other two videos, check them out. Give me a follow. Leave a comment. This is all kind of new to me. So I just kind of want to get on here and chit chat about the divisional round that we have coming up. Got some good games coming up starting tomorrow. The first one, let's get rolling on the first one. So we have the Texans going into Kansas City. It's going to be a tough one. Texans looked good this past weekend. They were able to eliminate the Chargers. Defense played well. They were able to get to Herbert. They hit Herbert 9 times. They had 4 sacks. The defense played very, very well. The offense was efficient. Mixon, Stroud, Nico Collins, they were able to get, moving the ball and able to make some noise on offense, which I was kind of surprised by because I thought the Chargers defense played so well this season. So it caught me a little off guard. I did not see that one coming. That was kind of the upset of the weekend, in my opinion. The Chiefs, they haven't played a meaningful game. I think it's been 28 days, if I'm not mistaken, 26 days, something like that. So they're going to be well rested. The last week of the season, they sat a lot of guys too. Chris Jones, Mahomes, Kelsey, they sat a lot of guys. So it's going to be a tough task for the Texans. They're going to have to step up the D again, like they did against the Chargers. Something about Mahomes in the playoffs. The dude just balls out. He is 6-0 in the divisional round. He's thrown 13 TDs, 0 interceptions. He's got a QBR at 87.5, and he's completing 70% of his passes. It's insane. The guy just balls in the playoffs. No matter if he's had a down season, you never want to count out the Chiefs in the playoffs. They know when to show up. Kind of reminds me of Jordan in the NBA. The dude, when he showed up in the playoffs, it was game on, and he was not going to look back. So I think for me, the Texans, in order to keep this game close and keep, in this game, I think they got to get Mixon rolling a little bit early. The Chiefs defense is 8th against eighth against the rush and 18th against the pass. I do think they need to get Mixon rolling. They got to be able to keep Chris Jones, Karlaftis, those guys kind of away from Stroud. And in order to do so, I think you got to have Mixon, being somewhat productive. If he's productive, it will open up the passing game so that, CJ Stroud can get Collins involved, Hutchinson involved, Mechie, Dalton Schultz, the tight end. I just think that Mixon is going to have some productivity in order to open up that offense for them. If not, it might be a long day for Stroud. The Texans corners, I think people don't give them their flowers because they've been playing very, very well. Their defense is ranked 6th. Their pass defense is ranked 6th. Their corners, Kamari Lassiter, Derek Stingley Jr., they have really good movement up front as well with Daniil Hunter, and then they have Will Anderson as well. So I just think they can get enough penetration to get to Mahomes to kind of maybe wreak havoc on that side of the ball. Pacheco's healthy. I just think that in order for the Texans to have a shot in this game, they're going to have to pressure Mahomes. They're going to have to force him to hold on to the ball. And then I think that they can get some sacks based on the secondary. Might be some coverage sacks, but I do think they can get to Mahomes and make this a game. I just think that at the end of the day, Mahomes is going to Mahomes. They're going to show up. They're going to probably win in an ugly way, probably less than a 1-score game because that's what they do. And I just think they're gonna, they may have a slow start because they had a bye week. A lot of teams tend to, start a little slower, and then when they crank it up, it's it's on and popping. They're ready to roll, and they just always show up in the playoffs. I just think people fail to realize that. I think the Texans have a shot to keep this game close. I know the Texans are. When I seen it earlier today, they were 8.5 point dogs in this fight. I do think that's too many points. Um, I kind of see this game being a little bit on the lower scoring side. You got two really good defenses. Spags has that defense playing very well. D'Amico Ryans has that defense playing really well. So I do think it's a little like lower scoring than people think. I got it 24-20. I do think the Chiefs win this game. I do think Mahomes moves on to the next round. And you could see an upset. I think this is probably one of the games I'm not picking. It's probably the least likely upset in my opinion. Let me put it that way. So I got that one. Chiefs 24, Texans 20. So I would take the points on the Texans if I'm betting that game. The next one, I got a lot of hometown crowd on this one. It is the Commanders going into Detroit. Well, coming into Detroit. So that one is going to be interesting. Dan Quinn has turned around that Washington organization with Jaden Daniels, and they were terrible the last, I don't know how many years. But Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's not even close. Like, give the guy the award. He's not playing like a rookie. He's playing like a guy that's been in the league for a few years. You can never count them out with Jaden Daniels. This game, the Commanders are 8.5 point dogs to the Lions. It's going to be very, very tough. You got two coaches that love to go for it on third and fourth down. The Lions are 47% on third down, 67% on fourth down. Washington's 46% on third down and 87% on fourth down when going for it. So they're just very highly efficient teams. You got two Dans that will go for it no matter what, it seems like. Whether it's Dan Quinn or Dan Campbell, one of these guys are going to go for it. I do think Washington is going to have to be more aggressive to remain in this game. I do see this game as probably being the largest margin of victory, in my opinion. I have Detroit winning this game. Detroit should win this game pretty handedly. I just would not count out Washington. They're playing with house money. These guys, nobody had these guys in the playoffs. Nobody had them winning last week. They showed up. They have beat some really good teams this year. They can beat good teams. Jane Daniels is balling right now. He is what the Bears was hoping Caleb Williams would be, is who Jane Daniels is to Washington. Nobody's seen this happening in year one, and the sky's the limit for this guy. I do think he's got enough, firepower to make this a game. The interesting thing for me, it's like the tale of two tapes with this game. The Commanders are 30th against the rush and third against the pass in defense. The Lions are the complete opposite. They're one of the worst pass defending teams and one of the best run defending teams in the league. So it's going to be really interesting to see how this game goes. The Lions, you could throw on them. They have corners that do you want to trust them? Absolutely. But if it's me and Jane Daniels, if you see McLaurin being guarded by Terrion Arnold, I'm taking my shot. I'm going right at Arnold every time. The guy gets out of position a lot. He also will get pass interference plays way more often than you want to see it. He's very handsy. I think if McLaurin can go through the defender to go toward a ball, even if he can't get to it, he may still get a call. They're going to have to get Brian Robinson and Eckler rolling a little bit early too. They're going to have to jump out to a lead. If you could force Detroit to be a little bit more out of their offense, as far as like they're going to want to run the ball through Jahmyr Gibbs. Why not? Washington's front hasn't been that great this season. I mean, they're 30th in rush. So if you can just get Gibbs rolling, That's going to open up play action for Goff. That's going to open up the St. Browns, the Laportas, Jamos, Patrick. That's just going to open up a lot, across the middle and up the field. The secondary for the Commanders is really that's kind of like their stronger suit. They do have some really good corners back there, and they will disrupt plays. They are very physical at the line of scrimmage. They will, kind of you're going to have to get St. Brown coming across the middle. They're going to have to fight to get open. They're going to have to fight to, right at the line of scrimmage because they're going to put a body on you right away. That's what's good about Washington's corners. They got a really good linebacker in Bobby Wagner. He's going to have everybody where they're supposed to be positionally. So I think that's going to be crucial for Goff to be able to get the play action going. It would be a really, really, really heavy dose of Gibbs, in my opinion, and just make them stop you because they haven't proven they can stop the run all season. So why start now? I would say I would be careful with Jaden Daniels. The guy's come back. I think he's had 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter, if I'm not mistaken. Either come from behind wins in the fourth or game-winning, like winning the game in the fourth. He has come behind and been able to surprise people. It all kind of started back when they played the Bears, that Hail Mary, which was just a wild play, probably the play of the year between that and Barkley, leaping backwards. But that play was just unbelievable, and it's always good to see the Bears lose. So that was good. But this one, I think Washington's playing with house money. I think Detroit needs to come out. I think they need to punch them in the face right away, and I just think they need to take control of this game, run the ball, eat the clock up. Do not allow Jaden Daniels to get rolling. And that pass rush for Detroit has to step up. Like, they have to step up. They're going to have to contain the edge. If you do not contain the edge with Jaden Daniels, he will run around and he will outrun you. I don't care who it is on that line. He will outrun you. Za'Darius, outrun you. Anzalone and Campbell, they're going to have to be careful. They're going to have to spy him and be cautious with him. No matter if somebody's coming across the middle, I'd still spy Jaden Daniels because you might see Ertz or somebody coming across the middle, but he will destroy you if you think Ertz is going to get the ball and he takes off running because you won't catch him. And then he's going to be into your secondary, and then Joseph's going to be running after him. Branch, he's electric, and him and Lamar are probably the best two, as far as quickest running backs in the league, in my opinion, and able to get to that second level outside of Josh Allen. Josh Allen just runs over people. But I like the points in this game. I got a little closer than a lot of people do. I have the Lions 34, Commanders 27. I do think there's going to be points put up. I think that the Commanders are going to try to keep up. I do think they keep it somewhat close, but at the end of the day, I think the Lions prevail in this one. Then we move on to Sunday. Sunday, we have Rams-Eagles. Should be a really good game. Rams are underdogs, 6-point underdogs. The interesting thing here is the Eagles defense is amazing. Up front, secondary, like they have a very, very, very solid defense. Their secondary is probably their weakest. They do have, some rookies back there, Kenyon Mitchell. And then they have the other, what's that dude? Cooper DeJean. So that's the other thing with them too, is they're rookies. So you can take advantage of them. At the end of the day, though, if I'm Philly, run the ball. I mean, you got the best running back in the league. Run the ball. Their offensive line is massive. I seen this stat. It said that the Eagles' offensive line between the 5 starters is 1,688 pounds. It's like, what, roughly, doing math in my head, 340 pounds a guy. Just a big offensive line. Take advantage of that. There's a stat that Saquon Barkley is leading the league as far as not being touched for 2.1 yards before contact. If you know a lot about football, that's insane. Like to be able to run 2 yards before you're touched. The guy's had a 2,000-yard record season. I think it continues in this playoffs. I don't think that the Rams are going to be able to keep up with them. They did play in week 11. Eagles won 37-20. The Rams are playing a lot better now. They're healthier now. Stafford's playing really well. Cooper Kupp's playing well. Nakua's playing well. Kyron Williams is running the ball extremely well. The Rams have their their defensive front has been, like, out of their minds lately. They have a couple rookies on that squad that will wreak havoc on Jalen Hurts if he's not careful. He's gonna have to get the ball out. This game plan should be a lot more simple than they may make it. I think you're gonna utilize Saquon Barkley, you're gonna open up play action. I would not run Hurts just with the concussion issues. I would play it safe, and I would really just run the offense through Saquon, take your shots with A.J. Brown, take your shots with Devontae Smith. If you get Goddard in a screen pass or you get him on a quick slant, take advantage of that. I would try to keep the defensive front off of Jalen Hurts as much as I can. They sacked Sam Darnold 9 times last week. They can get to the pass rush. The pass rush can get to Jalen Hurts. I would just, if it were me, I'm not taking any chances with Jalen Hurts. I'm getting the ball out early. I'm getting Barkley involved. I'm using screen passes. I am trying to keep Jalen Hurts as clean as you possibly can. The Philly crowd's going to be into it. I think it's a tough environment for the Rams to go into. I would lay the points in this one. I have Eagles 27. I have Rams 20. Halfway through the season, I had Buffalo and Eagles in the Super Bowl. I'm sticking with those picks. I just don't see any. I know the Lions are good. I just think the Lions secondary and their defense, with everybody being injured, it's going to be tough because of the Eagles' offensive line and defensive line. But we'll get into that if that happens next week. I just think that they have two of the best fronts in football between the offense and defense, and two of the biggest fronts as well. The guys are just solid, and they got playmakers everywhere on the offense. So, but anyways, I don't want to ruin this next pick, but Sunday night is going to be, in my opinion, probably the game of the year. This game, in my opinion, whoever wins this matchup between the two MVP leaders, Lamar and Josh Allen, this Bills-Ravens game is going to be the game of the year. These two teams are so well coached. They are matchup nightmares for people. Buffalo and the Ravens, they played earlier in the season. I think it was week 4. Ravens won 35-10. But that game was a little, don't take that into account too much, because I think Buffalo had a lot of guys they were trying to get in tune with that offense. And then also they were missing a lot of pieces on defense. So both teams are playing extremely well right now. Lamar, Josh Allen, probably the two best quarterbacks right now in the league. They're both MVP front runners. I got Josh Allen slightly ahead because I do think if you take Lamar off of the Ravens, I still think they're going to be a solid playoff team. But if you take Josh Allen off Buffalo, I don't think they're anywhere near what they are right now. So kind of diving into this game, the Bills are actually underdogs. They're getting 1.5, which is a little bit surprising. But in my opinion, the Ravens pass defense is 31st. The Ravens run defense is number 1. What does that tell you? Josh Allen needs to have a day. You better find Knox. You better find Shakir. You better find Kincaid. You better ask Amari Cooper to step up. You better ask Keon Coleman to step up. You better hit James Cook out of the backfield. Josh Allen needs to go for 350. I do think this game is going to be a shootout. The Ravens defense is playing a hell of a lot better than ranked 31st in the past. That's what they're ranked this season. They are playing extremely well. They have a lot of good players in that secondary. They got Marlon Humphrey. They have Kyle Hamilton. The one weakness for Baltimore, if I am Josh Allen, whoever Brandon Stevens is guarding, he's a below average cornerback as far as ranking goes. I'm throwing at him. I'm staying away from Humphreys. I'm trying to avoid wherever Kyle Hamilton's at. I am going to throw at Stevens. They do have a rookie, Nate Wiggins, out of Clemson. I'm a massive fan of Nate Wiggins. I was hoping Green Bay took him this year in the first round. They did not. I think that every team that drafted ahead of Baltimore in the first round that took a corner missed on him. I just think Wiggins is going to be the best corner in this draft. My opinion, he played very well in college. He's not the biggest guy, so he's not going to tackle you, but he also won't allow you to catch the ball. As a corner, that's what you want. Corners aren't typically going to be the greatest tacklers, but if they stop you from catching the ball, you ain't got to tackle. So I just think that if you're going to take advantage of this Ravens team, I'm going after Stevens, and I am just going to try to make as many quick throws as I can, get the ball out of Josh Allen's hands. I would try to avoid the pass rush. He's gonna have to take it on some of the Ravens front with Van Noy, Adafe, Roquan Smith. Like they have guys up there that will wreck that game if Josh Allen's not careful. I would also be somewhat cautious with Josh Allen running the ball too much. You got to get through this game, but if you win this game, you're gonna have to be there next week to play the Chiefs or the Texans, most likely the Chiefs. You just got to be careful. Josh Allen takes a lot of hits. He's a big guy, but you cannot take that hit. I'm telling Josh Allen, get rid of the ball, take advantage of the weaknesses on this team, which is mostly in the secondary. Um, I'm attacking. I think Shakir is going to have a day. I think Keon Coleman steps up. James Cook is going to be crucial. If he can get running and get some productivity, I do think that will allow the play action game to open up a little bit more, which also will free up the secondary. They're going to have to bring those linebackers up. If Cook has any kind of productivity, they're going to have to. Then you also have the fear of opening that play action up. Allen starts hitting a couple deep shots. Now those linebackers want to drop back. Those safeties aren't cheating up. Then Josh Allen just starts trucking people, starts running, and he's getting 7, 10, 15-yard runs, staying ahead of the sticks. That's going to be crucial. But I am extremely, extremely excited for this game. On the Baltimore side, you have one of the best running backs and best quarterbacks in the league. If not one, they're probably number two. That tandem is probably the best 1-2 punch in the NFL playoffs remaining. That's who I would take. Lamar's going to kill you by running. Henry's going to kill you by running. The biggest thing for me with them is the Bills' pass defense is ranked 24th. Their run defense is ranked 12th. I do think you can take advantage of their passing game, of their pass defense. Lamar can. But what I don't like is I don't like Zay Flowers out. Zay Flowers is doubtful to play. He hasn't practiced. Still dealing with I think it's like a knee or shin injury. I think that if you can get Lamar, I'm rolling him left and right. I'm going to let him create plays, use Bateman, use Isaiah Likely, Mark Andrews. Those guys, they're going to have to step up. Like Bateman, I think, is the most crucial one this weekend that has to step up. You got two tight ends out there. They're not gonna burn by anybody. They're not burners, but Bateman still has some speed. He's gonna have to be that deep threat. I think you can take shots on this team. They do have some good. Buffalo has some really good veterans, out there in the secondary and up front. I mean, they got Russo, they got Ed Oliver, they got Von Miller, he's been in the league for a while. He's won a Super Bowl, so he can get to. They can make some stops up front too. They got Matt Milano. In the back, they got Hamlin, they got Rapp, they got the old Packer, Rasul Douglas. They got some vets back there. I don't think they're going to make a lot of mental mistakes as far as, biting on underneath routes. I think they're going to play the position they're supposed to, the area they're supposed to if they're in a zone. I really, really, really like this game. I think it's two really good coaches with Harbaugh and McDermott. I'm looking forward to this game the most. It's a reason they had it on Sunday night. I think this game will be a shootout. RPO is going to be massive for Lamar, so they're going to, get Derrick Henry rolling, and then those fakes, man. You pick your poison. You want to stop Henry? You want to stop Lamar? Which one are you going to try? You're either going to have to hit Henry or try to catch Lamar. You pick. So this game, I got 35-30 Buffalo. I think it's a revenge game for them for the embarrassing Week 4 loss. I just think Buffalo's on a tear right now. I do think I see them coming out of the AFC. Bills-Chiefs matchup, it's going to be good. Whoever wins this game, this Buffalo-Ravens game, I think they're Super Bowl champs. I know the Chiefs are in it. I know the Lions are in it. I know the Eagles are in it. That's my opinion. I've had them. I had Buffalo beginning of the season. I had them halfway through the season, and I'm taking them right now. I just think Buffalo is on a tear. They can run the ball between Cook, Josh Allen. They can throw the ball. They make enough stops on defense. Their front's good. Their secondary doesn't really play too out of position. They're consistent veterans in the linebacking core, in the secondary. it's going to be a game, man. I am excited. I'm excited for this weekend's games. Let me know what you think. We'll touch base and see how we did next week. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. This is my third episode. I'm just kind of winging this. I'm going off how I feel on these games. I'm just a guy with an opinion. That's it. That's how I look at this. If you watch, great. Give me a follow. Leave me a comment. But as always, go Pack Go. If you follow me, I appreciate it. YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Spotify, Leap Enforcer podcast. Give me a follow. Leave me a comment. You don't like it. Cool. I'm still going to do it. I'm doing it for fun. Appreciate you guys. See ya.